Hey, what's up, guys? So recently I picked up a 3D-Oh, and with the power of an ODE, I've been going through its library, and I've known about the horrible version of Doom for 3D-Oh for I don't know how long. And if you haven't heard the story about that version of the game, check out the link in the description below where Rebecca Heineman, may she rest in peace, told the story herself. It's really interesting and it's pretty funny. And it was ultimately a miracle that it even ended up on the platform and running and doesn't crash every 5 minutes, but that's a different story. What most people don't know, at least I don't think they do, is that she also did another port of an id Software game for the 3D-Oh. And that game is Wolfenstein 3D, and you can see it running over my shoulder here. And that's a 3D-Oh running it right there. But this version of Wolfenstein 3D might be the best version of Wolfenstein 3D out there. I just wanted to take a quick look at this version of the game, and also a quick comparison to the original version of the game on PC, which I also have running in front of me right here. This is actually running on the same machine that I ran in the last video I made, if you saw that. This is an AMD K6-2 with a 3DFX Voodoo 3 2000 inside. And this is running on MS-DOS, so this actually is running like genuinely on MS-DOS. It's just, it's a little fast for what the game was intended to run on. And the sound card inside doesn't really like the game very much, it seems, or vice versa. And the sound is glitchy, but you get a good idea of what the original looked and sounded and played like. And that's really what I'm going for here, so that when we switch over to the 3D-Oh momentarily, you'll see that it's much more akin to what we might consider to be like a remaster today. And it's really interesting because it really caught me off guard. I was not aware of how high quality the 3D-Oh version of this game is. Now, I know there is a Super Nintendo port, and apparently that was used as the base for the 3D-Oh version, which I believe she also did the Super Nintendo port. That version of the game has some very strange censorship. They took all Nazi symbols and, portraits of Hitler, and they took all of that out of the game, and then they took all the blood out, of course, typical of Nintendo of the 90s. And then they also replaced all the dogs with giant rats, which was very interesting as well. But other than that, it's actually a decent version of the game. There's also an Atari Jaguar version of the game, which was also apparently based on the Super Nintendo version. And that, I believe, was done by John Carmack himself at id Software. So I think that's actually a very good version of the game too, but I don't have a Jaguar, so we're looking at the 3D-Oh version. But as you can see, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this game. If you're not, it's very primitive. It is, pixels galore. It's basically Doom without lighting and any of the advancements that came in that game. There's no bobbing, there's no view bobbing, there's no simulated walking or any of that stuff. You're just kind of floating. It's like you're playing a drone, just kind of like in a wheelchair or something, rolling through these halls. You can hear the music. Sound effects are very primitive. I'll turn it up so we can hear it better. Now every now and then you'll see these pink speckles on the screen. That's my capture device. I'm using an old capture device because in order to capture 70 hertz 320 by 200 video, you need either a RetroTink 4K or an older device like this frame grabber I'm using from Epiphan that ooh, hello. I'm sorry if you don't like cruelty in animals. I don't. Not that I do. But I can't help it. I didn't put the dogs in the game. But you can hear, the sound effects are for the time they were awesome. Believe me, I had a PC with PC speaker. I did not have a sound blaster. And this would have been mind-blowing to 10-year-old me. Yeah, you see the sounds glitch out, but you get the idea. When you pick things up, there's these little tones that play. The music is very typical of the era. So one thing that you will notice this version of the game, as enemies and doorways get further away from you, the sound gets quieter, as it would in actual real life, right? Like, you're getting farther from something, you can't hear it as well. The 3D-Oh version of the game has this really annoying quirk. Let's say you're at the end of a level, and you're looking for, like, the last key, and you're trying to, you know, trying to get out, and you don't really know where that key is, so you just keep going in circles by accident. You will go through, like, 3 dozen doors, and you will hear that door open and close sound non-stop for like, however long you're looking for those keys. I don't like that. I don't want to just open up doors and shoot dogs. Let's go somewhere else. A lot of the music you can reenact with your mouth. I'm convinced a lot of sound effects and music in Wolfenstein and Doom were done with their mouths first, and then they were like, let's build music around that. Like the imps in Doom. Where are they? It's around the corner. Yow, that was loud. So that's one of the things with this version of the game on this particular PC is the volume just goes kind of crazy sometimes. I have a 486 PC, like an old school, running MS-DOS on it, and it runs flawlessly on that, but that's in a different room. So I couldn't really capture that version, unfortunately. Oh, hello. Good to see ya. How you doing? Oh. Oh my goodness. I think I'm dead. Uh-oh, who's in here? Oh, nobody. Okay, good. Oh no. Anytime I see more than one guy, I'm like, yep, that's it. I'm dead. Well, there it is. So anyway, you get the point. It's very basic, but also very kind of iconic. And its layout, this is where we introduced the, you know, the face on the bottom of the screen, giving the shifty looks down on the bottom of the screen there, looking side to side. So I'm going to move over to the 3D-Oh version now. Okay, so now this is the 3D-Oh version of the game. And as you can see, it has a ton of levels, ton of content. It has the original 30 levels from the original episodes. Then it has Escape from Wolfenstein, Die If You're a Die, Trail of the Madman, Confrontate. Like, it has everything kind of broken up, and it has a ton of this stuff to do. So the one thing that you'll find that's different, that I've actually noticed anyway, from the Super Nintendo version and the Jaguar version, are there's no real story to it. Those versions have these little kind of cutscenes that are just kind of walls of text that scroll up the screen over a background image, but they have some sort of story. This one just kind of throws you in and just kill Nazis, go for it. That's good enough, honestly, but yeah, that's kind of missing in this version. Other than that, though, this is how it looks and sounds. There's that door sound I was talking about. The only real knocks I have against this version are they're always facing you. and there's a bit of screen tearing. Enemies always face you. The dogs just kind of strafe side to side. It's pretty funny to look at. Now for the more keen-eyed, there is one big difference here, and that's level design. The levels are different in the console versions of the game from the PC version, and it doesn't really impact gameplay at all, but it's just something to note. In case you're wondering, there is a map. You can tell where you've been and where you're going. Where you haven't been is more important, usually. You see the difference when you pick up, like, treasure and weapons, and just completely different from the PC version. Soundtrack is the most obvious upgrade. Right, so this is what I was talking about, like, in later levels where you're looking for keys, and they're really big levels to go through. You can go through, like, dozens of doors at a time trying to look for keys, and the problem is you can hear this noise. Even though I'm this far away from the door, it's still just as loud as if I was right in front of it. And so what happens is you start going through all these doors. You see, it just never ends. It's just non-stop with the opening and closing. I will say it does play very nicely in an emulator, so if you know where to look, that's an option. I know not everyone's going to go out and buy a 3D-Oh, but it's also proof that 3D-Oh got some good games. Along with Road Rash and Need for Speed and Return Fire and... There's other games. I just can't think of them offhand. Okay, well, like I said, this was going to be a brief look. Maybe I didn't say that, but I should have. This is a brief look at the 3D-Oh version versus the original version of Wolfenstein 3D. I don't think it's very well known that the 3D-Oh version is actually really good. So I just kind of wanted to shine a light on that and actually put it out there. Don't overlook this game. I know Wolfenstein's still around thanks to the Machine games that came out a couple years ago. It's totally different than the original games. The original games are much more akin to Doom. Maze-like levels, you're collecting keys in order to exit the levels. There's boss levels, and it's addictive in its own right and very satisfying to play through today. So I would urge you, if you haven't played through Wolfenstein 3D, I think it's available on Good Old Games. It's very cheap if it is on sale. It's not on sale. It's like $5 or something. It's still very cheap. Definitely worth looking at. Playable on DOSBox and other things as well. If you have an original PC, best way to play it is like an old school 386, 486. Don't expect anyone to run out and find one of those at an estate sale like I did, but that's definitely the most authentic way to play. I'm going to leave it here. I just kind of wanted to highlight this game that I just kind of stumbled upon when I was going through the 3D-Oh library recently, and I was like, wait a minute, this is actually really good, and I don't know how many people know it. So, till next time, see y'all later.